Hi friends, where is the best place to drop on Broken Moon in Apex Legends Season 21 after all of the map updates? I've built a brand new loot map with all the new points of interest on Broken Moon to show you every tier of loot of every point of interest, and we can use this to then work out where are the best places to drop on Broken Moon in Apex Legends Season 21. Okay, so take a look at this loot map I've created for Broken Moon in Apex Legends. As normal, you can see the high tier loot zones in purple, the mid tiers in blue, and the basic tier in grey. You can use this guide in this video to work out the best places on Broken Moon to drop. Now the good news is, with the updated Broken Moon, there's a lot more high tier loot zones, as you can tell by looking at this map. There are also more points of interest than before, and I will show you a comparison later in this video where you'll get to see exactly what the difference is. Let's talk about the best places to drop and rotate first though, based on this loot map. In terms of hot drops, a lot of the more central points of interest are more popular at the moment. The two most popular though have got to be Quarantine and Terraformer. These two are the most dense with the loot and buildings, and they definitely seem to be a great hot place to drop. So if you want a lot of early kills, perhaps you're in solos or pubs, then these are two of the key places you want to be thinking about dropping. The core is probably the next best hot drop, although that does depend on where the dropship is. So those are the places to go for early fights. If you want to play more conservatively, perhaps you're playing ranked, then you want to drop towards the outside of the map. The smaller POIs like the Divide, Experimental Labs and Spaceport are all high tier zones, but also tend to be a little bit quieter in Season 21. The key rule is that in general, it's better to drop in a high tier loot zone. While it doesn't always guarantee you the best loot, it definitely gives you a higher chance of getting better loot, and if you're in ranked, loot can make the biggest difference. It also helps if it does turn out that other teams drop in those POIs, because high tier loot zones tend to have more loot and better loot, and if you've got multiple teams, obviously having more loot is a good thing. Mid tier zones are okay, but actually on Broken Moon in Season 21 there aren't as many mid tier zones. I would say definitely avoid those white tier zones now. Season 21 has done a good job of replacing some of those, but if you see those white tier zones, there's literally only a few buildings there. There's not going to be much loot, and so you're instantly giving yourself a disadvantage if you choose to land there, so think carefully where to drop. In terms of rotation strategy, you can also look at this map and work out where you want to rotate. Thanks to the removal of Promenade, the routes through the map are a lot cleaner, with mountains and unplayable areas helping to break up the map a little bit, and thus avoiding the bottleneck that used to be Promenade. Ultimately though, having knowledge of the tier of the POIs can just give you an advantage when you're dropping and rotating over your enemies on the map. Now here's that little side-by-side comparison I promised you. You can see the new version on the right and the old version of Broken Moon on the left. Clearly, there are a lot more high tier loot zones in Season 21 than there were on the older Broken Moon map. You'll also notice there are a few more POIs on the newer map. They've updated it to have around 20 named POIs versus around 15 to 16 named POIs on the old Broken Moon, not counting those basic tier zones. So hopefully this loot tier map helps you. I will drop a picture on my Twitter if you want to go across there and grab a version for yourself. I'll put a link in the description below. Good luck with your drops on Broken Moon, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you later.